Welcome to part 6 of the Tkinter Christmas card programming tutorial. I did say in the last tutorial that I was going to demonstrate how to add a star and flashing fairy lights to this part, but I've decided there's actually quite a lot involved in creating a star shape from a polygon, and it's worth a video on its own, so we'll delay the fairy lights until the next video after this one. Now, I thought we would have a wee think about the design first before we go ahead and start programming it. We are going to use the create polygon method of Tkinter's canvas object. So what we're going to do this time is we need 11 vertices rather than just the 3 that we used to create the Christmas tree. Right, so let's have a look at the vertices of this shape. Now remember, a vertex is anywhere that two lines meet. So in actual fact, this is our first vertex here. So let's put it in. It's actually, I'm going to put it slightly offset. So this is vertex 1. Here is vertex 2. Here is vertex 3. Here is vertex 4. Here is vertex 5, vertex 6, vertex 7, vertex 8, vertex 9, vertex 10, and believe it or not, we need to complete this shape by going back up to this first, and this is vertex 11. Now I've drawn it as two separate wee dots here, but in actual fact it's the exact same coordinates, so I'm just going to put it inside that, and hopefully that will make sense. Now over here at the side, I've organised these vertices. You can see vertex 1, vertex 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah, and what we'll put in here is the coordinates. And the coordinates are the coordinates that we need for this star to sit on top of the tree. And in the last video, you need to have a look at the, right, so you need to have a look at this vertex here on the tree, because that's the vertex that we are relatively placing these coordinates against. So the midpoint of the star is going to be on top of that apex. I'll never get that back on there, roughly, okay? So vertex 1. Let's start off with, we'll start off with the x-coordinate. The x-coordinate, remember, is the horizontal. So up here, we know it's on the midline of the tree, and if you remember, let me get a colour for this. I think I'll go for black. And we'll put in the brackets, because coordinates always go in brackets, don't they? And the midline was 340. So we'll start off with 340. And we'll say that the height of it is 200 because it's higher than the apex of that triangle. Now vertex 2 is down here, and it's still higher than the apex of that triangle. So we'll say that the coordinates for that are 347 by 225. So 347 by 225. Hope you can read my writing. Now the next coordinates are here, and it's nearly coming to that apex. So we've got 370 by 230. So number 3, 370 by 230. It's always good to have a design before you go ahead and start programming it, because sometimes you can lose track of these coordinates really easy. 349 by 240. 349 by 240. Vertex 5 is way down here. So 357 by 265. Number 6 is up here. So that's 340 because it's on the middle line, remember? So 340 by 247. So 340 by 247. Now in a later video, I'm going to show you how you can create a subprogram which will generate a star by giving one coordinate, the mid coordinate of the actual shape, so we'll work on that later. You might want to start to have a wee think about it just now. Right, next coordinate for number vertex 7 down here is 315 by 265. It's 265 because it's the same height as number 5. So we can put in that 265 because we know it's the same height as number 5. And it's 315. Oops, I meant 317. And number 8 is 331 by 240. 331 by 240. Number 9 is 310 by 230. 310 by 230. Number 10 is 333 by 225. 333 by 225. And lastly, the same coordinates as the first coordinates. 340 on the midline with a 200 height. Okay, now when we get to Python, instead of putting these into that create polygon, you know, these 22 numbers, what we'll do is we'll create a list of numbers and then just put the list into the method. So what I mean by a list of numbers is using the square brackets. We will just put all these numbers in order. So that would be 340, comma 200, comma 347, comma 225, comma 370, comma 230, comma 349, comma 240, comma 357, comma 265, 340, 247, 317, 265. I'm going to have to come down to the line below. 331, 240, 310, 230, 333, 225, and lastly 340 by 200. So you can see, oh my goodness, how many numbers, coordinates would have to go into that create polygon. That's how are you going to keep track? So you can see the benefit of having this design to refer to, and if you need to make some tweaks on these vertices, then it's easier to do it if you can identify the coordinates of the vertex from this crazy big list of numbers here. Right, let's go and open up Christmas card version 5 and we'll do some version control on it. So go and get your Thorny and open it up. Oh, you can see from my user interface that I've just updated Thorny, so my icons are looking a wee bit different from the last video. Everything changes. Now before we go ahead and start coding, we need to save this file immediately as the next version so that we've got a bit of version control going on. So file, save as Christmas card version 6. So you can see we've got all our versions now, and every time we make a change, we're changing to a new file so that we can always revert back to the previous one, which we know worked. Your file should now say Christmas card version 6 up here, and we can go ahead and make our changes. So change the comment at the top here, version 6 notes, and in this version we're going to draw a vector graphic shape. Let's call it shape of a star to sit on top of the Christmas tree, and we're going to use the canvas.createPolygon method for this. The parameters that will be passed into this method are the coordinates of the 11 vertices, and the fill colour, which is going to be yellow in this case. Okay, that's all good. Let's scroll down here. So nothing's changing in the version 1 code, nothing's changing in the version 2 code, nothing's changing on the version 3 code. Where is it? Creating the canvas object, nothing. We've still got our Christmas red and our Christmas green hexadecimal here. Nothing's changing in the version 4 code, putting in the background image. Version 5 code, so we'll say code for version 5. It's staying, that's the Christmas tree, isn't it? So we've got the 3 triangles, the trunk and the bucket. Now come down a couple of lines, put in your single line comment, new code for version 6, and then put another single line comment in to say what this is going to be. So this is going to be to draw a star shape to sit on top of the Christmas tree. So we're going to use the polygon shape for this. Canvas dot create polygon, and then in the brackets we're going to put our parameters. So 11 coordinates, that's 22 numbers, and the fill, that's quite a lot, isn't it? A better way of writing this would be to separate out the coordinates into a list of coordinates, and that's what we'll do. So we'll call this star vertex coordinates, and then our fill colour is going to be yellow. So that looks a bit better, doesn't it? There's only 2 things in this create polygon, but we haven't created this star vertex coordinates list yet, so let's do that above it, because in sequence it needs to exist before it can be called into action. So it's star vertex coordinates is assigned the list, and the list is going to contain all of the coordinates that we designed. So we're going to say 340 by 200, so 340 by 200, oops, and we'll put a space in to make it visually separating out these coordinates. So the next vertex 2 is 347 by 225, 347 by 225, comma, don't forget your commas between each number. 370 by 230, 370 by 230. Next one, 349 by 240, 349 by 240, comma, 357 by 265, 357 by 265, comma, 340 by 247, 340 by 247, comma, 317 by 265, 317 by 265, comma, 331 by 240, 331 by 240, comma, 310 by 230, comma, 310 by 230, comma, 333 by 225, 333 by 225, comma, and last, back to vertex 11, 340 by 200, 340 by 200. Oof, that's a lot of coordinates, but because we've put a space in between them, it's easy to say vertex 1, vertex 2, vertex 3, vertex 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So if we need to make some tweaks, that's a lot easier than stuffing them into this great polygon. That would have been too much. All we need to do now is run it. So Control S to save, F5 to run it, and if all's went well, we should have our Christmas tree with a beautiful star sitting on top of it. Lovely. I'm quite happy with that shape. It looks not bad for a Christmas tree star. Good.